Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this morning. Let's make a start. And we're on the verses 28 and 29, chapter 2. So we should be talking about why is Krishna our worshipful deity and not the demigods. And then we have another 5 verses left, which we'll conclude on Monday and Wednesday. And on Friday, we'll have the overview for chapter 2 with His Grace, Bhang Ananda Prabhu. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So let's make a start. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Jayo Giravardhari Gopijana Vallabha Jayo Giravardhari Yashodanandana Vrajjana Ranjan Yashodanandana Vrajjana Ranjan Yamunatira Vanchari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Om Gyantimridhasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtham Staptam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Datati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Nirutam Sajyam Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shiva Shakhanvitam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavan Ishwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranmami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatru Brihascha Kirpa Sindhu Vacha Paditana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Nama Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Bhagavate Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Vande Shri Gurundi Taranam Ramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishram Hari Om Tassat Naram Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jamaduriyat Nasta Pressure Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloka Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtaki Hare Krishna. So let's share. Let me just get the verse. So yeah, just 1 minute. Okay. It's 28 and 9. Okay. So, okay, right. Hopefully everybody can see this. And let's make a start. So verse 28 is Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramukha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriya, Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Vasudeva Param Tapha, Vasudeva Paro Dharma, Vasudeva Paragatihi. So Vasudeva is everything. So that's the conclusion we're reaching after we're discussing why we don't worship the demigods, we worship Krishna. So Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, Parha, the ultimate goal, Veda, revealed scriptures, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, Parha, for worshipping, Makaha, sacrifices, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, Parha, the means of attaining. So in Sanskrit, as we discussed before, that same word can have many meanings. Yogaha, mystic paraphernalia, Vasudev, the personality of Godhead, Parha now means under his control, Kriha, fruitive activities, Vasudev, the personality of Godhead, Param, the supreme, Jnanam, knowledge, Vasudev, the personality of Godhead, Param, best, Tapha, austerity, Vasudev, the personality of Godhead, Paraha, superior quality, Dharma, religion, Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, Parha, ultimate, Gatihi, goal of life. So Parha seems to have so many meanings. So translation is, in the revealed scriptures, the ultimate object of knowledge is Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The purpose of performing sacrifice is to please him. Yoga is for realizing him. All fruitive activities are ultimately rewarded by him only. He is supreme knowledge, and all severe austerities are performed to know him. Religion is rendering loving service unto him. He is the supreme goal of life. So he is the supreme goal of life, and he is the supreme goal of everything, basically, because he is the object of knowledge. He is the purpose of sacrifice, and he is the one who awards for the activities, and he is the supreme knowledge, and all austerities are performed to know him, and our dharma is to render loving service unto him. So that Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is the only object of worship is confirmed in these two shlokas. In the Vedic literature, there is the same objective, establishing one's relationship and ultimately reviving our lost loving service unto him. That is the sum and substance of the Vedas. In the Bhagavad-Gita, the same theory is confirmed by the Lord in his own words. So the Vedas, the essence of the Veda is that we worship Krishna, but because they're so vast and there's so many things in there, one is likely just to look at what they're interested in. They're not going to read everything or try to understand everything. They're just interested in the part that appeals to them, and they focus on that, and they think that is everything. That's what the Vedas are saying. But when you look at the whole thing, and then you come to a conclusion that actually, in fact, eventually it's Krishna who's everything. In the Bhagavad-Gita, the same thing is confirmed by the Lord in his own words. The ultimate purpose of the Vedas is to know him only. All the revealed scriptures are prepared by the Lord through his incarnation in the body of Srila Vyasadeva, just to remind the fallen souls conditioned by material nature of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. No demigod can award freedom from material bondage. That is the verdict of all the Vedic literatures. Impersonalists who have no information of the personality of Godhead minimize the omnipotency of the Supreme Lord and put him on equal footing with all other living beings. So impersonalists think God has no form, and if he comes, that's a material body, and the Mayavadis think that we are all God. We all get illusioned by Maya, by illusory energy, material energy, and God gets illusioned by material energy. Well, if he does, then how can he be God? If he gets illusion, if something is higher than him, then he cannot be God. God means like number one, And for this act, such impersonalists get freedom from material bondage only with great difficulty. They can surrender unto him only after many, many births in the culture of transcendental knowledge. One may argue that the Vedic activities are based on sacrificial ceremonies. That is true. But all such sacrifices are also meant for realizing the truth about Vasudeva. Another name of Vasudeva is Yajna, or sacrifice. And in the Bhagavad-Gita, it is clearly stated that all sacrifices and all activities are to be conducted for the satisfaction of Yajna. So, Bhaktaram Yajna Tapasam. O Vishnu, the personal Godhead, this is case with yoga system. Yoga means to get in touch with the Supreme Lord. The process, however, includes several bodily features such as asana, dhyan, pranayam, and meditation. And all of them are meant for concentrating upon the localized aspect of Vasudeva, represented as Paramatma. Paramatma realization is but partial realization of Vasudeva, and if one is successful in that attempt, one realizes Vasudeva in full. But by ill luck, most yogis are stranded by the powers of mysticism achieved through the bodily process. So basically, they are looking for some material benefit, and they get stuck on the path. Can you go down? What is it?
Process at the top. Process at the top.
By the powers of mysticism achieved through the bodily process. Ill-fated yogis are given a chance and the next birth by being placed in the families of good learned Brahmins or in the families of rich merchants in order to execute the unfinished task of Vasudeva realization. Okay, so they get another chance and they take birth in the family of Brahmins or in the families of rich merchants. But the danger there is, if you take birth in a rich family, you might be so entangled in enjoying the richness that you may not come back to bhakti. Although you're born in a rich family, so you don't have to work hard, that you don't have time for bhakti, but you may become, inclined to enjoy the riches rather than do bhakti. If such fortunate Brahmins and sons of rich men properly utilize the chance, they can easily realize Vasudeva by good association with saintly persons. Unfortunately, such preferred persons are captivated again by material wealth and honor. So here you are. Unfortunately, such preferred persons are captivated again by material wealth and honor, and thus they practically forget the aim of life. So it's very dangerous. If you're given the chance, you got to take it. It says there are such fortunate Brahmins and sons of rich men properly utilize the chance. They can easily realize Vasudeva by the good association with saints. But unfortunately, such preferred persons are captivated again by material wealth and honor. So, risky business. This is also so for the culture of knowledge. According to Bhagavad-Gita, there are 18 items in culturing knowledge. By such culture of knowledge, one becomes gradually prideless, devoid of vanity, non-violent, forbearing, simple, devoted to the great spiritual master, and self-controlled. By culture of knowledge, one becomes unattached to earth and home and becomes conscious of the miseries due to death, birth, and disease, and all culture of knowledge culminates in devotional service to the personality Godhead, Vasudeva. Therefore, Vasudeva is the ultimate aim in culturing all different branches of knowledge. Culture of knowledge leading one to the transcendental plane of meeting Vasudeva is real knowledge. Physical knowledge in its various branches is condemned in the Bhagavad-Gita as agyan, or the opposite of real knowledge. The ultimate aim of physical knowledge is to satisfy the senses which means prolongation of the term of material existence and thereby continuance of the threefold miseries. So prolonging the miserable life of material existence is nescience. But the same physical knowledge leading in the way of spiritual understanding helps one to end the miserable life of physical existence and to begin the life of spiritual existence on the plane of Vasudeva. So the real knowledge is transcendental knowledge. Other knowledge is temporary, it's here, for here and now, and when we die, all that we have to start all over again. But your bhakti is there, it's in your account when you restart, or if you have to restart. The same applies to all kinds of austerities. Tapasya means voluntary acceptance of bodily pains to achieve some higher end of life. So Ravan and Hiranyakashipu underwent a severe type of bodily torture to achieve the end of sense gratification. Sometimes modern politicians also undergo severe types of austerities to achieve some political end. This is not actually tapasya. So sometimes modern politicians also undergo severe types of austerities to achieve some political end. That is not tapasya. So that's like looking for a material benefit, or could be seen as like just a pious activity, but it's not tapasya, as in it's not offered to God. One should accept voluntary bodily inconvenience for the sake of knowing Vasudeva, because that is the way of real austerity. So unless there's some connection with God, it's not that meaningful. It may be meaningful on a lower platform, but not meaningful as described in the scriptures. Otherwise, all forms of austerities are classified as mode of passion and ignorance. That's the reason. Passion and ignorance cannot end the miseries of life. Only the mode of goodness can mitigate the threefold miseries of life. Vasudeva and Devaki, the so-called father and mother of Lord Krishna, underwent penances to get Vasudeva as their son. Lord Shri Krishna is the father of all living beings, as described in Bhagavad-Gita 14.4. Therefore, he is the original living being of all other living beings. So he is the original, and then obviously we get our side effects, as in children, etc. But the real father, where it all starts from, is Krishna himself. He is the original eternal enjoyer amongst all other enjoyers. Therefore, no one can be his begetting father, as the ignorant may think. Lord Shri Krishna agreed to become the son of Vasudeva and Devaki upon being pleased with these severe austerities. Therefore, if any austerities have to be done, they must be done to achieve the end of knowledge, Vasudeva. So, Vasudeva is the original personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, as explained before. The original personality of Godhead expands himself by innumerable forms. Such expansion of forms is made possible by his various energies. His energies are also multifarious, and his internal energies are superior and external energies inferior in quality. They are explained in Bhagavad-Gita 7.4 to 6 as the para and the apara prakritis. So material energy, prakriti, inferior energy, and then you have the spiritual energy, which is the spiritual energy as the superior energy. So his expansions of various forms which take place via the internal energies are superior forms, whereas the expansions which take place by the external energies are inferior forms. The living entities are also his expansions. The living entities who are expanded by his internal potency are eternally liberated persons, whereas those who are expanded in terms of the material energies are eternally conditioned souls. Let me just read that again. The living entities who are expanded by his internal potency are eternally liberated persons. Okay. And whereas those who are expanded in terms of material energies are eternally conditioned souls. Therefore, all culture of knowledge, austerities, sacrifices, and activities should be aimed at changing the quality of the influence that is acting upon us. For the present, we are all being controlled by the external energy of the Lord. And just to change the quality of the influence, we must endeavor to cultivate spiritual energy. In the Bhagavad-Gita, it is said that those who are Mahatmas, or those whose minds have been so broadened as to be engaged in the service of Lord Krishna, are under the influence of internal potency. And the effect is that such broad-minded living beings are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord without deviation. That should be the aim of life. So you either serving Krishna, so you either serving material or you serve spiritual. You can't have it both ways. It has to be one or the other. In the Bhagavad-Gita, it is said that those who are Mahatmas, or those whose minds have been so broadened as to be engaged in the service of Krishna, are under the influence of internal potency. And the fact is that such broad-minded living beings are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord without deviation. That should be the aim of life. And that is a verdict of all Vedic literatures. No one should bother himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. No one should bother himself with fruity activities or dry speculations about transcendental knowledge. Everyone should at once engage himself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Nor should one worship different demigods who work as different hands of the Lord for creation, maintenance, or destruction. So, Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva of the material world. So, no should one worship different demigods who work as different hands. So, Vishnu is Krishna himself, but we worship Krishna rather than Vishnu because he's the original personality, and then we know Brahma and Shiva. We already established why we worship Krishna himself. There are innumerable powerful demigods who look after the external management of the material world. They are all different assisting hands of Lord Vasudeva. Even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma are included in the list of demigods. But Lord Vishnu or Vasudeva is always transcendently situated. Even though he accepts the quality of goodness of the material world, he is still transcendental to all the material modes. The following example will clear that matter more explicitly. So in the prison house, there are prisoners and the managers of the prison house. Both the managers and the prisoners are bound by the laws of the king. But even though the king sometimes comes in the prison, he is not bound by the laws of the prison house. The king is therefore always transcendental to the laws of prison house, as the Lord is always transcendental to the laws of the material world. So Krishna is compared to a king who runs the prison house for punishing people, and then if the king comes into the prison to meet them, that doesn't mean that he has become a prisoner, or even the staff there is a prisoner or prisoners. So especially Krishna, when he comes to the material world, that doesn't mean he's bound by the laws of the material world. Those laws of the material world are for the people of the material world, or those who are considered prisoners, as we've been discussing, that we are actually, this is the material prison, a prison that we are in, and there are certain laws that Krishna has created that we abide by. If we don't follow those laws, then obviously we get punished, and we have effects. There are effects to that. There is punishment to that, and that there is no escaping from that punishment. Whereas you might escape from the punishment of the government, but you cannot escape the government of Krishna. And laws and like the regulations that we follow. We don't eat meat, sense gratification, no intoxication. These are actually laws of Krishna. And when you're indulging in those things, then you suffer the consequences as well, because you need to be a law-abiding devotee. Simple as that. So that's 28 and 29 covered there, and just want to see what we can share. So Srila Prabhupada explains that we have an eternal relationship with Krishna as servants of Krishna. Therefore, we need to revive that relationship. So in the Bhagavad-Gita, how many times, like what we just read, is explained in the Bhagavad-Gita in different shlokas. So it says that how is Krishna the goal of everything and everyone, as we saw in the shloka itself. So Vasudeva Paradeva, ultimate object of Vedas, is Krishna. So in 15:15, shloka 15:15, is mentioned, Vadescha sarve eva vedyo, by all the Vedas I am to be known. Okay, and then it says Vasudev, Vasudev Paramatha, purpose of sacrifice to please Krishna, Yagyathat Karmano Anyatra, work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. That's in verse 3.9. And Vasudeva Para Yoga, yoga is for realizing Shri Krishna. As we know, it's Yoginam Api Sarvisham. That's in 3.47. And then he says Vasudeva Parakriya, fruity activities are rewarded by Shri Krishna. How? Yad kroshi, yad asnasi. So whatever you do, whatever you eat, that's shloka 9.7. So the shloka we were just discussing, it's explained in the Bhagavad-Gita as well. It's broken down in Bhagavad-Gita in different parts, different shlokas. So that part, that he devotes fruity activities, yad kroshi, yad asnasi, whatever you do, whatever you eat. So then he says Vasudeva Param Jnanam, Shri Krishna is supreme knowledge. So how's that? Raj Vidya Raj Guhyam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. So that was explained in Bhagavad Gita 9.2. So we can connect Bhagavad Gita, which is undergraduate study, and this is higher study, your masters. And so it's expanded in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vasudeva Param Tapaha, austerities are performed to know Shri Krishna in 9.27. So it said Vasudeva Paro Dharma, religion or dharma is loving service into Shri Krishna. And how is that? Sarva Dharman Pratajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. So abandon all rights of religion and just surrender unto me. So Vasudeva Paro Dharma is the highest dharma. And Krishna explains that in the Bhagavad Gita through that shloka. So all these shlokas, they're put into one here. This is the amazing thing. So then he says Vasudeva Paragathi, the stream of life is Shri Krishna. So Mam hi Parth Vya Pashritya. Osana Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they may be of lower birth. So the supreme goal of life is Shri Krishna. And everybody can take shelter of Krishna. So this is a Bhagavad Gita. So further explained, Bhakti, as we were discussing, is compared to a tree. Water, the roots and all the other parts, branches, leaves, will be nourished. By offering worship to the Lord, the Devatas, Pittars, Rishis, Bhuta, all planetary deities are worshipped and satisfied. And that's mentioned in the Vishnu Yamale Samhita. Srila Prabhupada explains that when you are worshipping Krishna, then everything is covered in that worship. And then he says, stating the Skanda Pran or Revakhand, in the Revakhand, if one is initiated into the holy name of Lord Vishnu, then one should avoid Sankalpa Dan, worship of forefathers, demigods, and not wear kusha. I'm not too sure about this, what this means. But basically, as explained in the previous one, that everything is covered. The worship of demigods and forefathers, it is all covered in that. And then it's talking about the three modes. And we talk about the airport, that you get to the airport and you don't catch the flight. So you go to the airport, that's mode of goodness, but unless you catch the flight, you do not come to pure goodness level, right? So what was the point? Why did you stay at home in bed? Because you didn't get to your destination. But in bhakti, having said that, there is a point, because if you make it in mode of goodness, but you might not make it back home, your destination, but in the next life, you will be born in the airport, so to speak. You'll be there, already there in the, your bhakti will be there, so you can start from that level. And goodness, passion, but the airport. Okay, let's start with ignorance. Ignorance means you didn't even get up. You were supposed to go to the airport, but you didn't even get out of bed. So we take this birth. We're supposed to go to the airport, but we didn't even get out of bed. And passion is that you got up out of your bed and drove to the airport and maybe got lost on the way or missed the flight. I think Srila Prabhupada was explained last time that just getting to the airport is a challenge on its own, right? There's so many obstacles, and yes. So if you're in the mode of passion, you drove to the airport, but you couldn't find your way, you took the wrong turn, or you got lost on the way, same thing, or you got there too late and you missed your flight, or you probably forgot your passport or your documents or something or other, and things didn't quite work out. So bhakti like that, there may be obstacles, but you've got to be smart and work how you can deal with those obstacles. And goodness is you got to the airport, but you didn't catch the flight or missed the flight. So you didn't get out of bed, ignorance, and you didn't quite make it to the airport, or you got there too late, passion, and ignorance. And the goodness is that you made it to the airport and you still didn't catch the flight. And pure goodness is managed to catch the flight back home. There you go. That's what where are we? Are we still in bed, or are we making our way to the airport, or are we at the airport, or are we boarding the flight? So we can all judge ourselves, reflect which part of the journey have we reached.
Or still thinking of getting the ticket itself, or planning.
Rather than it says, and you haven't still even bought the ticket. So that's what they say, that everybody's on a different level. We can't judge anyone. Maybe this time they will buy the ticket, miss the plane, but next time they will catch it. So we have to help the people who are still in bed. Get them out of Jago, that they're still sleeping. So we have to wake them up. Jago, nahi to you will miss your flight. You have to go. So Jiva Jago. And this is what Lord Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Prabhu has taught us, that we have to help the people who are still sleeping. And then Srila Prabhupada gives example of Chandidas and his brother. This is on pleased demigods. Example of how demigods are more pleased if you offer them things after offering them to Krishna. So if you have demigods, deities at home, so instead of offering them directly, if you offer them prasad, then they are more pleased with you. And the example given of Chandidas, he was very rich. He had a beautiful garden. His brother was poor. His brother mentally offered a flower from his brother's garden to Krishna. So they didn't get on. Basically, they didn't get on. One brother is very rich, one is poor. The poor wasn't allowed to take anything from garden of his brother. So he used to maybe have peep, and then he would offer it mentally to Krishna. So Chandidas offered the same flower to Durga, and this is the rich brother. He offered, so his brother had seen a flower in the garden from the distance, and he offered it to Krishna. Then Chandidas, obviously the flower still on the branch, he offered the same flower to Durga. Durga appeared and thanked him. He was so happy that he became devotee of the Lord. Basically, this flower was already offered by his brother to Krishna, and then his brother, the rich brother, offered it to Durga, demigod, and as remnants. And then she was pleased. Actually, she was pleased with him, so it worked out in his favor in this case. So offer first to Krishna, first, then as prasad to demigods. So crime does pay sometimes. So he got away with it here, thanks to his brother. So when you bow down before a demigod, you keep the demigod to your right, Prabhupada explains. The understanding is your spiritual master is in front of you and Radha Krishna on your left. So you are still bowing to Radha Krishna and your guru, but you are also offering respect to the demigod at the same time. Okay. And there's example of Advaita Acharya regarding this. He paid obeisance to the deity of Durga at the request of his father. Durga Devi did not accept his obeisances. Why? Because since Advaita Acharya is part Mahavishnu, who is senior to Durga, and Mahashiva, who is the husband of Durga, the deity shattered into pieces. So there's an example here of Durga's deity didn't accept the obeisances, like, because she felt that this part Mahavishnu and Sadashiva or Mahashiva, and she didn't accept the obeisances because she felt embarrassed to them paying obeisances to her on the floor, and she shattered into pieces. So we should ask the deities for love of Krishna. Krishna should always be the focal point. Ask them to bless you to serve Krishna nicely. So if we have Hanuman or Shiva, they're both devotees of the Lord, and even Durga is devotee of the Lord because she's doing a job. She's serving as material energy. It's a thankless job she has. She has the worst job. When you understand that, we keep saying Maya, keep away from Maya, but Maya is just doing her job. That's just like Yamraj. He has to deal with people. So they are given these duties to do, and they are doing it to please Krishna, because then Krishna will be pleased if they do the job properly. So we have to respect them for that, and we ask for the blessings, bless us that we can also serve nicely. Anything that Krishna wants us to do to please him, not to please our senses, but to please Krishna. Please bless us to do our job nicely. So thank you so much, and let's have a quick discussion, see where we are with that. Hare Krishna. And right, Sureshi Mataji, would you like to go first? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful slokas glorifying Krishna. And it says Krishna is everything, the sloka says.
Yeah.
And it is also glorified, Krishna is glorified in scriptures by Lord Brahma, by Arjuna in Bhagavad-Gita, and by the demigods as well. They all glorify Krishna because he's the supreme personality of Godhead. And at least what is we read just now, but they put it in a different word. Lord Brahma, in Brahma Samhita, he glorified Krishna. Ishvara Krishna Sachidanand Vigra Anadir Adir Govind Sakkaran Karan. That means Krishna is eternal. He was in the past, he is present, and he'll be in the future. And he's full of knowledge. And he, because he's got knowledge, he gives us knowledge as well. He gives us knowledge through Bhagavad-Gita, through Bhagavatam, and how we can free ourselves in the material world and go back to Godhead and do devotional service. And Arjuna, when Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna told Arjuna that he's everything in chapter 10, that the mind force lokas, and then Krishna, the way Arjuna described Krishna is so nicely, because Krishna is the goal of life. He is our goal. Thus we should aim at Krishna, where what Krishna is everything, our determination. Is to go to back to Godhead, to go to Krishna. And then he said, Krishna is Param Brahma, he is the supreme Brahma, Param Dham, he is a goal, he is our destination. And Pavitram Bhavan, Pushyam, Shashvatam, Divya Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. And he said, he's not saying, people might think that Arjuna is saying because Arjuna is Krishna's friend, but the other rishis, Narad, Dev, Rishi, Devalayas, everybody says, glorifies Krishna, that how Krishna's got everything, he got all the opulences. And how he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he's got 6 opulences: unlimited fine beauty, wealth, sensation, wealth and knowledge. And a lot of people, most of the people, they confuse, they don't know who's, they think demigods and Krishna are on the same level. And they say if you pray to demigod, it's the same as Krishna. But it's not the same. If we worship demigods for fruitive activities, it is temporary, a temporary benefit. But if we worship Krishna, Supreme Personality God, we get out of entanglement from the fruitive activities and can go back to Godhead. But if we worship the demigod for fruitive activities, we get entangled as well. And no demigods can award freedom from material bondage. If you pray to the demigod, they can give you some reward, but they can't free you from the material bondage. Even Lord Shiva said it to Parvati, that the only person who can give liberation is Lord Krishna. And his another name for giving benediction is Mukunda, Lord Mukunda. He cannot go give liberation, get out of his material bondage. Otherwise, nobody knows, because they haven't got no power to give it. And Krishna is original Supreme Personality of God. He expands himself in different forms or avatars. When there's something to be done, or the devotees pray for him to come for some help or some difficulties and some situation, then he comes in different forms. Sometimes he comes as the Vishnu Tattva, like his original form. Sometimes he comes in Jiva Tattva as well to help. And Lord Vishnu Tattva, the Lord Krishna, Ram, Nrsimha, Vaman Deva, they're all Vishnu Tattva. Jiva Tattva is Lord Brahma, Kumara, Narada. So he comes as a Jiva Tattva, as a Narada, to propagate devotional service to everybody. He makes so many disciples as well. And Krishna is only enjoyer of all sacrifices. So we should do sacrifices to please Krishna, not to please ourselves, to get out of this material bondage. And sacrifice for Vishnu is permanent, and sacrifice for demigods are temporary. The best sacrifice or yajna for this yuga is Kali Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifices from the Vedas lends a sinful life. So it all says that we have to do everything for Krishna, but we get ourselves entangled in material fruitive activities because everybody want to enjoy, but we enjoy different way. We will enjoy for our body, not for our soul. So, but we forget that we leave the body behind, and the soul who's gonna give us the next body. So we should think of the soul, and Prabhupada mentions so many times that there's universities for everything, but there's no university telling about the soul, and which is very important, most important. So Krishna he's our destination, he's our goal, he's everything. So we should try to do devotional 7 and follow the instruction of Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam. Krishna personally, which is personally saying everything in Bhagavad-Gita. And in Bhagavatam, it is said by his devotees. They're vouching what Krishna said in Bhagavad-Gita, they're repeating. So that's what we can learn, that Krishna is everything, and we should do everything for Krishna like the pure devotees have done. And so we try to get out of this material entanglement. And this is not a nice place for us to live. This is the Krishna says in Bhagavad Ashashvatam. This is temporary, full of sufferings as well. I mean, so we should try to get out of this. We try. I mean, we like him. I mean, we know our Maharajas and them. They can go back to Godhead. They're in right position. But we as grihasthas and things, sometimes it becomes difficult. But we can always try. So in next life we can get promoted. What Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, if we can't fulfill in this life, he'll give you another chance. So we keep on trying. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, we can only know about Krishna what he does. And yes, very nicely explained. Thank you so much. Let's have the Matajis. Hey, Hina Mataji, next, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, this is a very nice verses that have been covered, and as Mataji has already very, very, very well summarized as well. It really just summarizes really what the goal of life is. It's spelt out so clearly that all sacrifices should be directed to the Lord, and he's the prime objective. And I think for me, what I was thinking about is how much mercy we get on this path. If we stick to it, we really can't go wrong. Even if we're unable to complete the process fully, there is no loss. Krishna can see our intentions to progress. He sees our endeavors, and it's by his mercy that he will make sure that our next life, as Mataji already said, he will make sure that our next life is favorable, so that everything is lined up in our favor, so we can continue on the bhakti path. As much as we want to go home, he equally wants us back. He wants us back more. Yeah, we just need to make sure that our spiritual desires are strong. Free will is all we have, so we need to make sure that our desires are correctly situated, and that all we want to do is to serve him and to please him. That was it for me. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I was just thinking, this journey to the airport, make sure we have a sat nav, right? If we're trying to find the way to the airport by our own concoction, we more likely to get lost. So what could the sat nav be? It could be the mercy of Krishna and the knowledge that we get from our Guru, spiritual master. Mercy of the Guru, mercy of Krishna. That would be our sat nav to make sure we get to our destination, and we make sure we catch the right flight as well. And the Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna says that I'll give you knowledge from within. So it's there to help us make sure we just use the right platform to get there. Thank you so much, Mataji. Pundrikaksh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Hare Krishna all devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances all to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. And this verse is like a complete summary of Bhagavad-Gita for me. In Bhagavad-Gita, Lord Krishna explained about different poses like Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga. But whatever is the process, ultimate goal is to please the Lord. So as in the previous verse we read, if one is very serious about liberation, then they need to worship Lord Vishnu, because he is the ultimate. He is ultimate to give the mukti from this material world. And Prabhupada mentioned very nice point here, like reviving our lost loving service unto him. So it confirms that Jivara Swarupa and Nishna Krishna Das, eternally we are the servants of the Lord, and we forget that service. So it's our duty to go through the scriptures, take the association of devotees, and identify that loving relationship with the Lord, and how we might be serving him in a different ways there. So once we get that real taste, then the main purpose of worship is to please the Lord and identify our loving service unto him. And one more point in the purport: accept any discomfortness to please Krishna. So we see Srila Prabhupada accepted discomfortness only to please Krishna. Otherwise, at the age of 67, who will travel to a Western world which is very completely unknown place? And always Keshav Maharaj says like journey into unknown. So Srila Prabhupada did same with just having a belief in the spiritual master words and follows instructions. And we see Jaypada Swami Maharaj, how many times he is struggling with his health, but we never see him like he is able to preach even today, and is even more better. Like earlier, I used to get more difficulty to understand his words, but now it's more clearer as well. So when we actually listen to him, so he is facing so many difficulties only to serve Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. And one more thing, energy is mentioned here in this purport: internal energy and external energy. So energy is same, only the quality is different. So if you are affected by the external energy, you become Nityabadha, eternally you become bound to this material world. But if you are under the influence of internal energy, then you become Nitya Siddha, eternally liberated. And Prabhupada mentioned that we just need to change our qualities, and we develop our qualities with the kind of association we indulge in. So we have to take care of association of the devotees and change the qualities and be under the influence of internal energy rather than external energy, and that will have get the mercy of Krishna also onto us. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you for sharing. Amazing. Thank you so much. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Amazing realizations from everybody. I won't take too long. All I want to say is we are on the journey to the airport. We've got the travel documents, we've got the visas, we've got the passport. The passport is the Vedas, the scriptures, the Gita, the Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Chamrita, you name it, we've got it. However, we need to internalize it with devotion, attention, and commitment. And we have to have that passion and that deep desire to board that plane, because at the other end of that journey, Krishna is waiting for us. He's waiting for us with open arms and with a garland. We just need to board it. But there's a possibility we could miss the flight, right? So let's not miss the flight, make the effort, because, this could be the most epic journey we will ever take. Continue with the devotion, the bhakti. The demigods serve a purpose, but they're not the governor. They're not the king. The king can come in and out of any prison. The demigods can't. The king has the key. He can come and he wants you to escape this prison, because he's asked Brahma and even Shiva to create this illusion. Vishnu and Krishna are one and the same. He wants you to get out. He wants you home, right? He's waiting for us with open arms. He's been waiting for us for 8,400,000 lifetimes. We need to go. We need to go very quickly. Let's continue to water that plant and that tree, so those roots get nourished through the bhakti, through the devotion, and through the spiritual knowledge. Hare Krishna. Have a great day.
Thank you so much for yes, very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, I think our Dr. D is busy today. He's listening only. And Radharani, will let you go.
Hare Krishna, everyone. All glories to all the devotees here and Guru and Gauranga. These two chapters have set the scene for us for the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna has managed to convince even the ones who had any kinds of doubts about Krishna that who is he, where is he coming from, and why he is how he is, and what's the purpose of our bhakti ultimately. And I was just thinking, as these realizations I was hearing from all of you, and it's so nice to hear that how all of us are hearing and churning the beautiful realizations and then articulating them in so nice, easy to understand words. That, in this world, we get so impatient with anyone who is not able to, get our point, who's not able to understand us. And I was thinking, great, Krishna has been so kind and merciful to us, that after millions and millions of lifetimes, he's still patient with us. He says, okay, I'll give you another chance. If you don't make it, there's more chances waiting for you. And, here we are, we get upset and offended and, put off by people who are not able to understand us. This is the kind of patience we have. When with just never mind outside, even in the family, you get impatient with your spouses, with your children. Your patience has got this limited, capacity. It can't be stretched. And here Krishna, who has given us everything we can think of to enjoy. He says, okay, enjoy yourself to the full first. Take all your desires, out of your enjoyment by this enjoying this sense gratification. And then when you are done with that, then you can bring me into the picture. Then you can serve me with those senses and then get the fruits. The example of Chandidas and his brother from Chaitanya Charitamrita is so apt. And so next time we are stuck somewhere, we can't offer anything to Krishna. We just have to think of the most exotic things which are there in this world and offer them in our mind to Krishna. Because, by just offering them those things in our mind from a certain place or certain garden or certain establishment, we can help others as well. Like Chandidas, he was helped by his brother. His brother offered the flower on his behalf mentally. And then in return, Chandidas offered that flower to Durga Devi. So just look, so merciful is Krishna here, that even mentally we will not just help ourselves but others in the process. So I don't know if still we have got some doubts about our existence, about all the sukh and dukh and the temporary and the impermanence and all the situations in this world, people just moaning and groaning all the time in the news, in the family discussions and everywhere. This is all illusion. The only purpose Krishna has put in front of us is just get out. When you're done with everything, come to me, and I'm the purpose of your life. The purpose of the ticket is Krishna. And the way of the journey, where the journey is going to end, is also with Krishna. And the other side is something which we can't even think of. We just been given a glimpse here and there in the Shastras. And thank you to Srila Prabhupada again and again, and to all the Acharyas and foremost to Lord Krishna, that he created everything for us, which is going to help us in our bhakti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And thank you all so much. We'll conclude the chapter next week. And yes, and thank you for the association. And we'll finish here and come back on Monday. Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samaved Bhaktivinoda ki jai,
And
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare